Pareto Principle, also referred to as the 80-20 rule, relates to virtually all areas of life and tends to be a reliable explanation for the distribution of resources and success. It explains how 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Examples: 80% of your progress comes from 20% of your tasks. 80% of your problems come from 20% of your decisions. 80% of your profits come from 20% of your customers. 20% of the people do 80% of the work. 20% of the clothes in your closet are worn 80% of the time. 20% of the roads have 80% of the traffic. The original discovery came from a mathematical observation by a man named Pareto that 80% of England's income was generated by 20% of the population. Since then, many people have made their applications of this principle in almost every area of life to understand and explain the natural curve that is generated by the vast variety of people. It explains how their disposition and approach to life lead to predictable outcomes. The Pareto Principle says, as it relates to the modern job market, that 80% of the top applicants will choose to work for the top 20% of leaders. We all want to work for a leader with similar or greater values. If we want to be great and make the most of all our opportunities, we will search for the best leader that provides a great culture and opportunities to work for. If we are lazy and just want to do as little as required to trade time for money, we will look for leaders who require the least from us. If we want to take advantage of people, we will look for fools and weak leaders to manipulate. We will always get what we seek to attract, and we will seek to attract what we are. Most leaders are sitting back waiting to see who they get. Some are hoping for the most qualified applicants, but only the exceptional leaders, top 20%, have a realistic chance of attracting them. The best leaders, just like the best colleges, the best companies, and the most beautiful people, will have the pick of the litter, relatively speaking. This means that if you are not one of the strongest leaders, you will be left competing for the bottom 20% of the applicant pool. The leftovers will be your market, and the unemployable will consume your interviews. A scarcity mentality will begin to consume you, and you will feel like you have no control over your staffing efforts. You will be convinced, even though this could not be further from the truth. Who we decide to be, then become, will determine who we get. Those who become greater and continue to grow their leadership will continue to grow their attraction. Those who settle for who they currently are must settle for who they currently have. They eventually end up with nothing when their people find out there are better options. That is the difference between the exceptional and the mediocre leader. Whoever has will be given more. Whoever does not have, even what they think they have, will be taken from them. Luke 8:18.